Hey, what is up guys? Welcome to another episode of Coding Cardio, where today we are going to dig into some array methods, give ourselves a bit of a workout. So I have up on screen here all the methods that we are going to cover. I'm going to walk through some quick examples of how we can start using these and try and go through these as quickly as possible, maybe not as quickly, but give you some examples of how you can start using these. And I will also paste the code that I'm using in the description if you would like to kind of look at this yourself and kind of continue after this video. So yeah, let's get into it. So if we look here, I have a array of objects, and it's a cat array that has a name, an age, a snack, and a lucky number. And we're going to kind of use these methods to see how we can sort of manipulate some of this data and what we can do with it. Right now I'm just consoling out the cats right now. So yeah, let's quickly go down the list. So we have sum is the first one we're going to tackle here. So we'll say sum cats equal cats.sum, and sum is going to check to see if, in other words, if some cats pass some logic that we write. So in other words, as long as one cat meets our logic, then it's going to come back as true. So if we do like age is greater than 25, and then I console out some cats, cat.age, we will get a, and you have to actually return something. So we will get a true here because at least one cat is older than 25, and we can say maybe like 40, so we can still get a true, and we can say 50 and we should get a false because there are no cats that pass that. So this just checks if at least one cat meets some sort of logic here. Great. So let's console out this. Next down the line is filter. So filter is sort of similar, where we can say filter cats equal cats.filter, and then we can pass a callback function cat and do something like this. And filter is only going to return cats that meet a specific, that pass our logic basically. So we can say we only want cats, return cat.age is greater than maybe 20. And then we can say console.log filter cats here. And this will only give us back any cat that is older than 20. So we see that Polly D didn't make it, Jennifer didn't make it, and I think that's all, and the rest come back to us. So if you want to filter out cats, you can do it. This is not specifically cats, assuming you're filtering out other stuff, not just cats. But if you do want to filter out cats or dogs or any other animal, you would you could use that filter method to only bring back items that pass specific logic. Cool. So let's go down. Let's keep going. Map. So map is cool because this is one you'll run into a lot, where you say cats.map and then we say cat. So map is going to go through, I like to think of it as going through the array, doing something to it, and giving you back something. Map is going to return you a new array. So say if we want just an array of cat names, if we want to do something with that, so we can say return cat.name. We could do console.log mapped catters. So now we have an array of just cat names, and we can do anything we want with that. But just think of it as map is doing something to it and giving you back a new array. So that's think of it as sort of like a conveyor belt style, where it does something to it, brings it down the line, gives you back something new at the end. And that's how map's going to work. Let's keep on going down the line. The next one is flat. So this is actually a new array method in JavaScript. So, and I'm actually going to create some sort of new array for this because it's easier to show. So if we have, say we have an array of numbers, but then maybe within that array we have another array. And let's do something like 5, 6, 7. So say we just want to make this a single array. Right now it's another level deep. We can do const flat array equals array.flat, and then we can console log flat array, and now we see that it flattened it down into a single array. But that's only going to go one level deep. If, say we had in that array we had another array. So now we're 2 levels deep in the array. Well, we see it's going to give us back just, it's still going to flatten 1 level deep, but there's still that second level, that right here, the 1, 2, and 3. So flat also takes a number which we can pass to it, which will tell it how many levels deep to go. So in this case, we have this 1 level deep with this pink right here, and then this blue is the second level. We can say 2, and we can use it in that way, and that's really as simple as that. I don't think this is supported everywhere though. I know it's in Chrome, but you should definitely look to see before you start using this somewhere. Cool. So let's keep going down the line. Reduce. So spoiler alert, I do have a reduced video that goes way more in depth than this, but just for the sake of showing you this at a high level, we're going to take an accumulator and a value, and we are going to basically condense something into one value. So what that means is, say we wanted to add up all the ages of our cats, we could say return accumulator plus, what did I call it? We can call this current val, and current val is going to represent as it's looping through the current item that it's on. And let's go reduced array. Oh, and we also want to pass an initial value here, because current value dot age is what we want to bring back. So the initial value is going to say, hey, start with this number, or else it's going to use the first item in the array, which is going to be our object. So we actually want to say, hey, start with some item. We could say, hey, we want to start with 1,000. It's going to start with that, but in this case, we'll start with 0 because that makes sense for what we're trying to do. Again, I have a longer in-depth video on that. If you want to check that out, cool. If not, that's totally cool. Okay, every. So every cat is going to be cats.every, and this is also going to take a callback function where we can say cat, and this is going to, similar to sum, but in that it needs to make sure that every cat passes a certain set of logic. So we can say it's only going to return true or false. So we can say return cat.age is greater than 10. It should return false as soon as we console.log our every cat. And we can see that that returns false because obviously there's cats that are older than that. We can say is every cat greater than 0, greater than 1 even. I think that is true. Yeah, so if everything passes the set of logic, it's going to return true. Otherwise, it's going to return false. This can be good for sanitizing data if you want to make sure that you don't have any empty values in there. But you can start thinking of use cases for that. Cool. Let's keep going. Find. Okay, so find, let's say found cat is going to take a callback, and it's going to look for a cat, the first cat that matches some sort of logic. So we can say cat.luckynumber, let's say is greater than 10, and I always forget to return console.log found cat. So it's going to return us the first thing that matches that logic. So it goes through and says cat.luckynumber is greater than 10. It's going to say, hey, Carl, that's greater than 10. And we can see that there's multiple cats that would pass that logic, but find's going to look for the first one and then say, that's what you want, I'm done. So it's only going to return you one thing. Cool. And let's keep going down the line. Pop. So pop is fun. Const popped cat. Oh, I don't want to write that. Okay, sorry, I'm totally lost here. So popped is going to take the item, the last item off of the array here. So if we say popped cat, it's going to, we can see return as Rugrat, the cat Rugrat who likes eating carrots. It's gonna just take that off of him. And if we were to then console log our cats array, we would see that it also mutates that original array. So Rugrat's not a part of that array anymore. So that can be useful if you just want to take the last thing off and say, I don't want this on the original array anymore. We can just pop that off and have our popped cat and create a very bad named variable. Shift. Cool, so const shifted cat, cats.shift, and shift is probably not as useful as, I mean, it can be useful, I shouldn't say that. So we can say shift is going to remove that first item from the array, and it's going to return that removed item. It's also going to mutate your original array. So again, if we console log cats out here, we should see that Carl is no longer number 1 or index 0. He's removed from the original array. So similar to pop, just sort of reverse. It's going to take off. It's going to take off that item. Cool. Unshift. So if we do const unshifted cat, we can see cats dot unshift, and this is sort of related to what we've been talking about. It's going to sort of add something to the array. It's going to add something to the beginning of the array. So say we had like another cat that we said new cat. We could console.log cats, and then we would see we get a new length here where a new cat was added to the beginning of the array. And if we wanted to see unshifted cat, we could see that. Yeah, and that's going to return to us the new length of the array, that number that comes back. So yeah, you can see that might be useful if you say you want to remove something from the end of the array and stick it in the beginning. You could maybe pop that off and then kind of unshift it towards the beginning. And then the variable that you store that to, you don't have to store that to anything. You can just do that, and then you get your new array like that. So you don't have to store it anywhere again, though. That's just going to return you the new length of the array. Cool. So let's keep going. And then includes, finally. So then includes is going to see if something exists in the array. So we can say included cat. And first we're going to have to do something. So say we want to see if there exists a specific cat, and we might have to chain something, chain some methods here. And hopefully, since what you've learned so far, this might make some sense to you. But first we should, like I said, if we want to create a new array, or if we want to see if a specific cat name exists in our object array, what we might want to do is say cat, and then just return cat. So this way, remember, as we saw before with map, this is just a little bit cleaner syntax or shorter syntax. This is just going to return to us an array of just names as soon as we do that. So that's going to return us an array of names, and then we can say dot includes, and we can give it just a straight string. So we can say, hey, does Rugrat exist in there? And then we can say console.log included cat. And we can see that it does. If we were to put nonsense in there, we could see that it doesn't. And then probably my favorite name, J Meow, for any Jersey Shore fan. Yeah, we can see that will return true or false based on if that thing is included in there. You might have seen pre-ES6 index of, which is very similar. This is just sort of a simpler way to do that. But yeah, I think that, yeah, that is everything. So I will include a gist or basically a link to where you can see this code and maybe try it yourself. But yeah, hope that was helpful. Hope this was fun to kind of go through, and hopefully you can work through some of this together. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And also, if you did enjoy this, I will make another one with some new array methods. If you have any that you'd like to see, I will be happy to shoot them in a future video. But yeah, hope that was fun. Hope that you learned something here today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.